The natural world hides its drama in the smallest crevices. Nearly every plant on Earth is under siege from countless voracious insects. Balance in the ecosystem must be maintained by a diverse legion of unlikely heroes. From the dense woods of Brizolara Creek to the regulated farmland of Cal Poly citrus orchards, we will explore the complicated relationships of the animal kingdom at its smallest scale. The forests of Poly Canyon, shaded by live oak. However, these growths on the plant tissues were initiated by tiny insects. These leaf-fold galls were created by gall midges in the order Diptera in the family Ceciomyidae, while gall wasps in the order Hymenoptera and family Cynipidae created these pearl galls and swellings on the oak branches. The larvae inside these plant tissues incite the oak to grow these structures with their saliva and other chemicals, eating plant matter with their chewing mouthparts until they are ready to emerge. Although these hard wood shells are meant to protect the larva, they attract unwanted visitors, parasitoids that will pierce through the plant with their ovipositor and impregnate the gall with their own eggs. This gall was made by a cynipid wasp. Instead, what emerged was a wasp in the family Eurytomidae. This creature is so small it is hard to see fine textures on its body. Its best identifiers are wing characteristics. The marginal vein is shorter than the submarginal vein, and the stigmal vein and postmarginal vein have equal length. Another parasitoid also emerged from the gall. This is a male wasp in the family Pterimidae. It doesn't have a long ovipositor like the females in its family do, but it again can be identified by wing characteristics. Long marginal and submarginal veins with very short stigmal and postmarginal veins. The parasitoid young will feed on the protein-rich larvae of the gall makers, pupate inside the gall, and emerge as adults. These wasps play a crucial role in the ecosystem, preventing the gall makers from becoming numerous enough to harm the oaks. These kinds of complex biological relationships are expected in nature, but insects have found similarly ingenious methods to exploit each other in agricultural systems. These yellow bumps on citrus leaves in the Cal Poly citrus orchard are actually insects. They are soft brown scales, order Hemiptera, family Coccidae. They begin their life as tiny crawlers. Once they find a place to feed, they insert their piercing sucking mouthparts and begin their development into adults, losing their legs in the process. Adult brown soft scales are essentially factories that turn plant sugar into eggs that they lay under the scale. The plant blood vessels are pressurized like a fire hydrant, so when the scales tap in, they keep some to digest and excrete the rest as sticky honeydew. These Argentine ants have noticed this and formed an evolutionary bond with the Sternorankin pests. The ants keep the scales as livestock, protecting them from predators and collecting their sweet secretions as food for their colony. However, insect assassins have snuck through the ants' defenses. These darkened scales were impregnated with a wasp egg when they were early instar nymphs. The endoparasitoid inside must carefully manage its food supply, making sure to eat the scale's non-essential organs first. Once the scale is completely eaten from the inside, the wasp pupates, then cuts a hole in the scale and emerges as an adult Cacophagous gurnii in the family Aphelinidae, identifiable by its yellow scutellum. This wasp will search for more young brown soft scales to oviposit its eggs inside. The wasp is not native. It was introduced to the US in the 20th century for biological control. Cacophagous gurnii works alongside other wasps like Metaphicus helvelis that target adult scales. Together, they make the citrus leaf resemble a spaceship from an alien movie and provide excellent scale control. Parasitoids are not limited to the Hymenoptera. This third parasitoid is a tachinid fly, order Diptera, family Tachinidae, found on sow thistle in the Cal Poly Organic Farm. The shape is reminiscent of a housefly, but the tachinid can be distinguished by the bristly hairs covering its body. In contrast to most wasps, tachinids lay their eggs on the outside of the host insect. The larvae will drill in after they hatch and feed on the host as they develop. The tachinid larva will exit the host, then pupate before emerging as an adult tachinid fly. These flies help control pests, especially caterpillars, but are not commercially available. In Cal Poly sorghum fields, we find another carnivorous dipteran larva. These sugarcane aphids, order Hemiptera family Aphididae, suck sugars from the undersides of young leaves with their piercing sucking mouthparts. When the colonies grow this dense, they can cause serious crop damage. Fortunately for the sorghum, the plant has defenders. Syrphid flies leave their eggs, these tiny white ovals, in aphid colonies. After hatching, the maggots use their chewing mouthparts to devour the aphid's hemolymph. While the white husks are old aphid molts, the yellow husks are exoskeletons left behind when the maggots suck them dry like a Capri Sun. Respect the pouch. The larvae of the Syrphidae family have quite a bit of variation in color and texture, so they can be identified by the two close spiracles. Adult syrphids are bee mimics and can be recognized by the spurious vein in their wing. When the fly reaches its adult stage, it gives up its vicious diet of small insects and uses its siphoning mouthparts to feed on flower nectar. These flies will travel over a quarter of a mile to search for food and insects to lay eggs near, which is comparatively far. Although syrphids are not commercially available, they can be attracted by planting sweet alyssum. Organic lettuce orchards have achieved excellent biocontrol by intercropping sweet alyssum to attract syrphid flies. In Cal Poly's organic farm, we see a creature with a similar lifestyle, the aphid fly. This fly has just laid her eggs in this dense colony of cabbage aphids on kale, and she's grooming off the wax and sticky honeydew she picked up while moving through the aphids. Just like the syrphid fly, these eggs will hatch and feast on the aphids. This wave dance is the aphid's warning signal that there's danger nearby, although it will do little to stop the fate that awaits them. Most people will recognize adult lady beetles, but their larvae might look strange. This convergent lady beetle larva, order Coleoptera family Coccinellidae, was found feeding on aphids on pumpkin leaves in the Cal Poly organic farm. Alongside is a small Syllabara vigentimaculata, the 20-spotted lady beetle. This beetle keeps the plant clean by eating powdery mildew. The convergent lady beetle larva will hunt aphids until it grows enough to pupate. Multiple red pupa can be seen behind this blue hemipteran. When the adult convergent lady beetles emerge, they will continue to feed on small insects, providing good, non-specific mortality to plant pests. Despite their common name, there are male lady beetles, and they have an important part to play in preparing the next generation. The lives of these insects, although gruesome, prevent pest populations from exploding and keep our crops alive. It is no exaggeration to say that these tiny insects make human civilization possible. Modern agricultural pests are developing resistance to the pesticides we concoct, but they will not develop resistance to enemies that have evolved to target them over millions of years. As we attempt to produce enough to feed a growing world, we don't have to fight nature. Parasitoids and predators can play a powerful role in maximizing the food we get out of our agricultural systems.